Just south of Northfield, east of Faribault, there is a supercell thunderstorm that's producing some pretty nasty weather. So that's why we are in a weather impact alert. This is our sort of first round of severe weather that we're dealing with. And I think we're going to probably stay on for a while just because we do have these tornado-warned storms, which are being pretty rowdy over eastern parts of Rice County and eventually into Goodhue County. Here's what you can expect. Severe thunderstorms from this afternoon into the evening hours. The main threat is large hail, though a couple of tornadoes are possible. And yes, we've already seen reports of some extremely large hail in the Kansas City area, which is just east of Faribault. We had reports of baseball-sized hail, 3-inch size hail. That was just a couple of minutes ago, and these storms are riding along a warm front, which is situated just down to our south, and some of these storms look pretty impressive on radar. So you can see we have this tornado warning, which extends from just east of Faribault, which, by the way, Faribault, you are in the clear, into Goodhue County. That extends until 5:15. We don't have any reports of a tornado on the ground, but radar is just showing us that there's a good deal of rotation going on the southern periphery of this storm. North of that periphery, that's where we have the severe hail right now, which is passing east of the Kansas City area. There's Northfield right now. You can see downtown Northfield is pretty much in the clear, but that storm is just further south and east. And you can see some of these hail reports that we're seeing here. Again, 1 to 2 inch hail was reported around the Faribault area. Kansas City had a report of 3-inch size hail. In this particular area, that's where we're seeing the heaviest rain and certainly the highest potential for some big time hail as well. So this is the area that we're highlighting here with the best potential at seeing a tornado over the next couple of minutes. This includes cities like Holden, Wangs, the Nason area, Leon, and Bell Creek. And these areas, while we don't have any confirmation of a tornado on the ground, about 15-20 minutes ago, there were reports of at least some rotation going on underneath a wall cloud, which is, that's kind of the earliest indication that a tornado would develop. This is zoomed in a little closer. This is velocity, and this is telling us where we have the best rotation going on. Green means the air is going that way. The red means going that way. So you can kind of assimilate that that's where that rotation is. Now, this is crossing just east of Highway 250 or 246. That's just north of the Wheeling area, about to move over the Highway 56 area. The storm is moving fairly slowly, only about, say, 15-20 miles per hour or so, so it's not moving very fast, but still has the potential of producing a tornado. Not only that, but again, some very large hail. In fact, the Weather Service added on the destructive label on their severe thunderstorm warning, which indicates that if you are in the path of this hail system, you can expect to see some pretty sizable damage. Over a fairly isolated area, however, this isn't super widespread. What you're looking at is the hail potential. This is what radar is showing us where that hail core is, and you can see the bullseye right there is just northwest of the Holden area, and that's moving east at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So again, if you are in the path of this system, you want to make sure you get a roof over your car and at least take some cover, because that hail certainly would mean business, not only damage to property, but you don't want to be outside when there's 3-inch hail that's falling. So this is Microcast, and we'll show you what's happening over the next couple of hours. Storms are forecast to continue to develop along that warm front. Twin Cities kind of on the southern periphery, the northern periphery of this. The main activity expected over south central and southeastern Minnesota. And initially, these storms are forecast to be these semi-discrete cells, these one single cell supercells that are producing that tornado threat and the hail threat. As we head beyond, say, 7, 8 o'clock tonight, even though the storms are still going on over these vicinities, their wind fields kind of interact with each other and the severe threat sort of wanes. So I'd say between now and about, let's call it 6:30, 7 o'clock, that's when we expect the worst of the severe weather. Beyond that time frame, thunderstorms still going on, still developing, but they're going to lose their severe weather characteristics. This is 10 p.m. tonight, still some heavy rain that's near the I-35 corridor from, say, the Albert Lee area further eastward. Chance for the thunderstorms kind of wanes around the Twin Cities, and eventually we clear out as we head into the overnight hours tonight. So that's kind of what we're looking at in the short term as far as the severe weather threat. I'm going to back things up, and meteorologist Belinda Jensen is here with me.
Yes.
What are we seeing here, Belle?
Well, I was just looking for any more reports. The largest hail that we had was about 3 inches, as you mentioned, and that was near Kansas, Cannon City, not Cannon Falls, but Cannon City, which is just to the west of Cannon Falls. That was a 3-inch report. That's our largest one so far, but that just kind of tells you about how intense this storm is and what can be expected as this line continues to spread to the east. Now, this main area, this main threat, it looks like it's going to be right along this warm front south of the Twin Cities for the next few hours. So if you're watching us from the Twin Cities and you're wondering, is this going to drift north? As it kind of falls apart, we do expect some of those storms to drift north between 5 and 6 o'clock tonight. But there are a couple of discrete storms, some smaller storms in Hennepin County right now, northern Washington County. None of those will be severe. None of those are expected to be severe as well.
Right. So the only severe weather that we're talking about right now is south and southeast of the Twin Cities. This is that one lone discrete supercell thunderstorm, which has that tornado warning attached to it. Storm spotters, there's plenty of them that are out there watching this thing right now. They're reporting a rotating wall cloud on the southern edge of this system. And you can see, you can really picture it on radar. That little notch you see there, that's the inflow notch. And right there is where you would expect a tornado to develop. And soon as we get the report that one is on the ground, we'll certainly let you know. But this current tornado watch warning box, I should say, which includes extreme eastern Wright County. This is well east of the Faribault area and into western Goodhue County, the west central part of the county. That's where we would expect to see that tornado develop, moving eastward at about, say, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Not only are we seeing that tornado chance, but the main threat with this system at the moment is extremely large hail. And we've seen several reports of 3-inch hailstones with this system. And we did mention this leading up to today, that large hail was going to be the main impact, a main driver of the severe weather here. But you can see that inflow right there. This rotation right here is where we'd expect to see that tornado. This right here is Highway 246. Right here is Highway 56 going north to south. It's about to cross Highway 56 just north of the Holden area. And again, we just want to mention too that no tornado has been reported, but just based on what we're seeing on radar, it's probably going to happen over the next couple of minutes or so. There's Northfield right there. Downtown Northfield is basically in the clear. All of these storms are moving eastward at about 15, 20 miles per hour. And the deep purple you see here on the northern edge, this is that hail core. This is where we have the best potential at seeing those 2-3-inch hailstones, that baseball-sized hail in this vicinity pushing eastward. There's downtown Cannon Falls, and we should, clear this out. Cannon City is about right here, and there's Cannon Falls. So Cannon Falls kind of on the northern edge of that severe thunderstorm. You head south down 52, you're going to see some heavy rain, and eventually that hail core is going to push overhead as well. What do you think, Belle? Do we have any additional storm reports that you're looking at?
We haven't had any, but we do have a reporter, Jennifer Huff, and also photojournalist David Peterlin's down in that neck of the woods. They actually they were, of course, in that hailstorm, and so they do actually have some hail in hand, as we understand. Jennifer, can you hear me? Where are you guys located now?
Hi, yes, I'm here. It's been an incredible storm to watch here in person. I want to show you guys this, though, when you're talking about the hail, right? This is golf ball size hail that's coming down as we continue to move east of Northfield. We want to turn the camera around and just show you what we're trying to see. We've pulled over multiple times because visibility is nearly impossible with the rain, and it looks like snow on the ground because that's how much hail we've gotten, again, as we head just further east from Northfield. And this was a system that just built up so quickly and came down so fast. It was sunny and we saw the clouds building in the dark skies, and then next thing you knew, it was a hailstorm unlike anything I've been in. It was so loud, it was impossible to hear, and as the hail got bigger and bigger, you just feel like it's going to come right through the windshield. I mean, it looks like there's snow on the ground right now. Yeah. As we're moving towards this system that you guys keep talking about has that potential for the tornado. So, what's that?
West of Denison.
Yeah, west of Denison, Bell, where you said. But I just want to show you guys again the size of this hail that we're talking about here.
So, Jen, can you hear me right now,
incredible. Jen? Yeah.
So the hail that you have right there, that's certainly the bigger one. Are you still seeing up to baseball-sized hail around you right now, or is it just the small kind of pea or dime-sized hail?
I think for the most part, it's dime size. I mean, pea size is on the smaller end for sure.
I would definitely say we're easily half-inch hail here that's piled up along the side of Highway 246.
But it's not out of the question to see those large pieces of hail, but it's so much of it that, as I've said, it's just the ground is completely covered in white.
We haven't had a report that anyone can see a tornado, but this storm seems to be potentially rain-wrapped with that hail shaft right around it, so possibly pretty hard to see that tornado if it is going down in that area. So I know David Peterlins is very versed in this and knows what he's doing, so I know that you're with someone that is knows where he is and what he's doing and where he is heading, so hopefully you guys will stay safe there. But you can see just the hail covering the ground all across the area, just near Denison, and we're down in Rice and Goodhue counties there, as you can see the hail core as we go, as you guys take cover there.
Let's go ahead and go back over to radar, and you can see the hail potential. So Mobile 11 right now was just in Denison, which is right here. You can see on your map right there. Again, there's Highway 56, there's Stanton, there's Holden. What you're looking at is the hail core. This is the radar's indication of where the biggest hail is right now, and we still think this is going to be the cause for the biggest amount of damage, at least in the short term, is this hail core is working its way east, and we saw with Jennifer's hail, she actually had, I would say that was bigger than golf ball. That was closer to tennis ball sized hail, or at least egg-sized hail or hen egg-sized hail. That was falling from this system right here. This is moving due east. It looks like it's going to cross the Highway 52 area within the next, say, 15 minutes or so. And it's moving fairly slowly. That's one thing to note about these systems. Usually they're moving pretty quick, 40, 50, even 60 miles per hour. Not the case with this one. This one is a slow-moving system that's producing not only big-time hailstones, but as we saw with Mobile 11, hail is lasting long enough to coat the ground, and it looks like it's snowing in some locations. But that's not snow. Those are just hailstones that are covering the ground. So that's the hail concern about this system. Let's talk more about the tornado threat, because we still have this tornado warning that goes until 5:15. So that's another hour or so. It's 4:25 right now, and radar is still showing a pretty strong signature that there could be a tornado forming rather quickly. Lots of storm spotters are on this system right now. They're watching it, and as soon as we see a tornado touching the ground, we will certainly let you know about that. Let's zoom in a little closer right here. There's that hail core that we're talking that's due north of the Holden area. It's crossing Highway 56 right now, and if there were to be a tornado with this system, it would be in this little notch you see right here. This is where we anticipate to see a tornado moving east-northeast at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. And if there were to be a tornado to develop within the next couple of minutes, these are some of the communities that would be in the path of this system. You can see at about 4:45, Leon would be in the path of that. Bell Creek at just after 5 o'clock as well. And this is a lot of farm fields out here as well, so it should be relatively easy to see. This isn't bluff country. Eventually the system's going to move into bluff country across the Minnesota-Wisconsin border. So once that happens, visibility is going to be a little difficult to see. So that's sort of the positive with this, where if there were to be a tornado forming, we would be able to see it and at least notify people of that happening. But at least we're still watching the spotter reports, and we haven't seen a whole lot of additional information on this system, Belinda.
Nothing more on that right now. I was just going to add, there's they did add, of course, one more warning here that is just trailing into Wisconsin. So we do have until 4:30 for Goodhue, as well as Goodhue, and now we have Pepin and Pierce until 5 o'clock.
Gotcha. And that's just an extension of these storms that are forming along this warm frontal boundary. So we mentioned earlier in the show that these were going to be these discrete thunderstorms, these single cell thunderstorms that produce the best potential for spin-up tornadoes as well as large hail. And it appears that we have another one of those strong ones that's moving just across the river into Wisconsin, into parts of Pepin County, at least at the moment. But the one area of concern we're watching right now is, of course, that tornado warning, which continues for at least another 45 minutes. Looks like they'll expire the warning for eastern Rice County as the storm is continuing to move across the county line. Probably see that happen over the next 10, 15 minutes or so, but the tornado warning continues into Goodhue County for at least another 45 minutes or so. A lot of lightning and thunder being reported with this storm, and as we heard with our reporters who are down there, Jen and Peter Linz, who are down there, they had sunshine before all of a sudden running into this wall of water, the heavy rain, and then not long after that, we saw the hail started to pick up. And these storms are moving so slow, Belle, that it's producing not only big time hail, we're talking baseball sized hail, but the hail is lasting long enough to cover the ground, which is pretty interesting.
Weather Service does say that Rice County is now clear of the tornado threat. As you can see, that cell is just moving off just to the north of Kenyon, so moving into Goodhue County. So the storm is fully in Goodhue County now and continues to look very impressive on radar. Storm chasers are in the area, but still no observed tornado.